This is another one of those videos where I'm just going to be chatting about something with some gameplay on screen, so if you don't look at the video, you're not missing anything. Someone sent me a Lacey Green video today. It was called "Are All Celebrities Problematic?" And I watched it. I watched it a couple times, okay, maybe more like 3. And then I watched a couple other videos about what problematic means. And I just can't quite put my finger on the right word to describe it. The closest I can get, and it still isn't perfect, is occult. You get all of these diagrams, all of these things you need to identify, all of these lists of properties, things you need to extract from your brain, an animation of lasers coming into your eyes, and then the bad ones being bounced away. They've got all this stuff, all very impressive, but I can't find the roots of it. What is the methodology? Words, ideas, and tropes that harm people. You've got to identify them and try to get rid of them, but no one actually says how you identify them. And yet somehow they know it. As Lacey Green was explaining, some words actively harm other people. This is not down to them looking at it and their interpretation causing them harm. It is a property of the word. And what I found interesting in the Lacey Green video is it switched from identify these things, as in search for them, to acknowledge them and don't excuse them. Somehow these things just are. They can give you a reason. They can say, this is problematic because, but I've yet to hear a because that isn't just another assertion. The explanation never seems to go all the way down to the roots. To be fair, again in the Lacey video, she did say that things could be called problematic because they are factually inaccurate. But this was regarding a list including tropes and behavior, so I don't really get how that applies. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you don't call things that are factually inaccurate problematic, you call them false, which obviously isn't unique to feminist criticism, and so doesn't really tell me much about what's special about problematic. And then of course, you get it jumping back to more general terms. Well, we're just saying things are both good and bad, nothing's perfect, this goes on forever, we're just trying to improve things as much as we can. I'm pretty sure that everyone feels that way to some degree about everything, just naturally, without even trying. So that is not some unique thing about feminist criticism either, and doesn't help me understand it. There was an article I read that was titled, "If you like Return of the Jedi but can't stand Ewoks, you get feminist criticism." So I thought, oh, it really is just, I don't like this, P.S. I am a feminist. But then no, it said the difference is the depiction of women has a concrete impact on millions of lives. My response to that is, what the hell are you doing dicking about with it then? How do these people know that these changes aren't going to make it worse? But this is where I think a lot of the weird stuff comes from. They know that they don't really know, but at the same time they are convinced that yes, I don't understand it, but I know this problematic element is here, either from just having a sense of it, or because they're matching up bits and pieces from this problematic vocabulary, the language they've trained themselves to read everything in. I think this reliance on just accepting too much stuff, just sort of picking up what's already there and running with it, and not having a clear explanation right from the root of the issue is why you get such weird solutions. It's why you don't get these critics able to say, this is exactly how a game should be, or movie, or book, or outfit. It's because they're kind of like people who have found magnetism, but don't understand it and are looking for it in every object and keep thinking they've found it, except here the occult quality is problematic, and they're looking for it as a property of tropes, behaviors, ideas, words, an inherent property that apparently makes these things harmful, and they're trying to get rid of it. Through striking problematic so many times, they are sort of building up this list of things that are problematic, or ways in which things can be problematic, but it's just not coming together. If they're going to use this as a guide to what needs to be gotten rid of, they're just going to end up getting rid of everything. It just seems so useless to me. If you're going to take some framework or special way of criticizing something, shouldn't it be more useful than that? Shouldn't it be clear? Certain people might take you more seriously if you play the game and take on the role of feminist critic, finding, oh, so dangerous, problematic stuff. But isn't that a lifeless kind of criticism? And if it isn't, if you are putting lots of yourself into it, isn't that just you being you and trying to pass it off as something more? My suspicion is that all the people doing this know it's bollocks and just go with it because it gets them what they want. But I've tried today to give them the benefit of the doubt. I've tried to understand it based on a few different explanations, and it still just looks to me like people who have accepted a bunch of stuff without questioning it and then built on that. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions. If you're watching this video at the time it went up, I am currently running a Teespring campaign with this art. There's a link in the description if you're interested.